Hey guys, today I have a book haul to share with you. So, once again, another book haul. I'm trying to get all these book hauls out as best as I can because I'm kind of behind, but I'm working my way up that I'm not behind, so that's good. So yeah, you guys, let's get on with this video. I have 20 books to share with you guys, and yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings about which of these you have read, or some of these I should read sooner rather than later. Let's get going. First up, Lethal White by Robert Galbraith, aka J.K. Rowling, if you didn't know that already. This is book 4, correct? This is book 4 in the Cormoran Strike series, which are like contemporary mystery thriller sorts of books, I suppose. I have yet to read this series, but I am looking forward to starting it sometime in the future. I have been loving and enjoying the TV series, though. The TV series is very good. It has Tom Burke and Holiday Granger in it. If you're familiar with them, you'll recognize those names if you like British television like I do. But yeah, I love the TV series, and I've been really eager to finally read these books. I think I'm going to probably wait because I know there's a 5th book coming out. I might possibly wait for the 5th book to come out since it's coming out relatively soon, and then maybe I'll try to binge my way through this series. Next up, this is Oblivion by Kelly Cree, and this is book 3 in this particular series, which I believe is called the Nevermore series. And yeah, guys, let's see if I can make a long story short here. When I first started BookTube, which was quite a little while ago, the big thing on BookTube was, like young adult, and at the time, I felt like I had to read nothing but young adult, and it took me a couple years to kind of realize young adult is not entirely my thing. I do enjoy young adults every now and then. There's nothing wrong with it. I do enjoy it every now and then. But yeah, I discovered that, things like mystery thrillers and historical fiction, that's more my thing, that I like to review and talk about on this channel. So this book, this is book 3, as I mentioned. When I first started my channel, sometime early in starting my channel, I had previously picked up the first 2 books of this series, and I haven't even got around to them, but I've been wanting to read them since I do still own them, and I found a copy of the 3rd book so I can finish the trilogy. And yeah, this is a trilogy, like I mentioned, young adult. I had to kind of look and see what it was about because I can't even remember what it was about and why I got it. It almost has a very Twilight sort of plot to it. A girl, she's a cheerleader, she's forced to pair up with this hot young guy for an English assignment of some sort. And like I said, I can't remember what the hell this series is about, but it has something to do with Edgar Allan Poe. You guys, it has some weird thing to do with Edgar Allan Poe, and that was kind of my initial reason why I picked this up. So yeah, in a way, I don't particularly have an interest in reading this trilogy anymore. But at the same time, I mean, I've collected the 3 books, and I am going to force myself to read them because I may end up liking it. Yeah, when I buy books, I don't like throwing them away. I like to read them, at least. I bought them for a reason initially. I'm not going to just sit and throw them away because that's just money being wasted. So yeah, I will try to get to this trilogy eventually. Next up, this is The Princelean by Cynthia Harrod. Is it Eagles? Is that Eagles? Yeah, Eagles. And this is book 3 in the Moreland Dynasty series. Good lord, you guys, I don't know what to do about this series. This is going to blow your minds when I tell you about it. This series, at the moment, as of what Goodreads has told me, this series has 35 books to the entire series. And this is the 3rd book. I do own the other 2 books, and the thing is, I have yet to even start this series. I just don't know what to do about this series. I definitely want to read the first 3 books. I definitely want to read them. But then it's like, I don't know what to do after that. That's a lot of books. That's 35 books, you guys, and I don't really have the room for that. And it's like, I don't know what to do once I do read these first 3 books, if I want to even continue. I'm really conflicted. Thing is, though, I mean, this whole series, it's a series that sounds right up my alley in terms of things that I love to read, because the whole series is about this family called the Morlands. That's why it's called the Morland Family Dynasty series. It's about this family called the Morlands, and the series starts in like I believe the 1400s. If I'm not mistaken, the series starts in the 1400s, and I was looking to see where the 35th book went, and the 35th book is currently like in the 1920s or 30s, I believe. So it's a big family saga of books focused on this family through the centuries, and that sounds so awesome, you know, like what this family is doing during these big, huge, momentous events of history, you know, and it sounds so awesome and so cool and right up my alley. But yeah, once again, 35 freaking books, and I don't know what to do about that. So I think I'm definitely going to read the first 3 at least, since I do own the first 3 now. And plus the first 3 have these nice covers, but yeah, they never updated the covers for the other books, because I think the series started like back in the 80s or something. So yeah, the other covers don't have these cool covers, you know, but someone tell me what to do. Has anyone ever read these books? Let me know your thoughts if you have. And yeah, what do you think I should do in regards to a series that huge that is 35 books? I need some advice if you have any helpful advice. Next up, I have this really cool book. This is Game of Thrones, and I can't read that subtitle backwards. A Guide to Westeros and Beyond, the complete series. Ooh, yeah, this is exactly what the book says. This is just a complete series guide to Game of Thrones, which is my all-time favorite television show, if you don't know that already. And it's just full of just awesome pictures. Is that Loris? It sure is. Just full of awesome pictures and stuff. Oh, I happened to just land on Littlefinger, you guys. He's my favorite character. That's so funny. What else? The Wall or something here. Something. Khal Drogo. Oh yeah, Khal Drogo. That's a nice shot. But yeah, just a lot of cool stuff. Oh, Natalie Dormer is Marjorie. Yeah, I'm getting distracted. I want to just sit right now and just look through it, because the pictures and everything are just so cool. But yeah, if you're a fan of Game of Thrones, this is a must for you. Just a collector's item to revisit the world and be all nostalgic about it and sad. Next up, Lady Clementine by Marie Benedict. This is a book that I have already read and reviewed, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, this book is historical fiction, talking about the life and times of Lady Clementine Churchill, the wife of Winston Churchill. So yeah, if you don't know much about Clementine Churchill, this is a must, I believe, because there was a lot of things I did not know about her, and I was really glad I read it. Next up, The Turning by Henry James. I don't know why they just didn't go ahead and call this book just The Turn of the Screw. I think they were just trying to promote and sell this book, because I know there was that movie that came out earlier in the year called The Turning, which was based off of The Turn of the Screw by Henry James. And yeah, I've not seen the movie, and I don't know if I really had an interest in even seeing the movie, but the reason I got this edition is just because it was just a nice updated edition. And it has The Turn of the Screw in it, and a bunch of other short stories by Henry James in this. And yeah, I've never read The Turn of the Screw, but I've always been anxious to read it because I've heard so many things about it. And yeah, there's just a lot of books and TV shows and movies and just a lot of pop culture things that make reference to things in The Turn of the Screw, and I want to know what all that is about. So yeah, I can't wait to get to this, so that way I can read The Turn of the Screw finally. And then yeah, there's just a bunch of other little short stories in here that will probably be just as good. You guys, I did it. I finally got me a copy of Good Omens by Terry Pratchett and Neil Gaiman. I just was not sure if I wanted to pick this up, you guys, to be quite honest. If you were on my channel before, I read Neil Gaiman's American Gods, and I had a lot of problems with American Gods. American Gods just was not my thing. I didn't get it, but it's weird though, because I love the TV series. I don't understand that. I love the TV adaptation of American Gods, but yet the book was just very lackluster to me. So I've just been very hesitant to pick up another book by Neil Gaiman. So I'm going to see how this goes. I did watch the mini-series that was on Amazon, the adaptation of Good Omens. It had Michael Sheen and David Tennant. I really loved the mini-series, and it was just so quirky and weird and fun. So I'm going to see how this book goes. Hopefully I like it just as much as the miniseries. I tell you what, if something happens and I don't like this book either, I'm probably never going to pick up another Neil Gaiman book. And that kind of I don't want to say that because I've been wanting to read Stardust as well. I need to get me a copy of Stardust because I love the Stardust movie. But yeah, I don't know if I'll like the Stardust book. So I'm going to see how my read of Good Omens goes. And yeah, if I just have a hard time with this like I did American Gods, I'm probably not going to ever pick up another Neil Gaiman book. And you guys, to my incredible shame, as an English major, I don't even know if I should admit this, I have never read Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I've seen a couple different adaptations of Little Women, but I have unfortunately never actually physically read the book. Oh my, I'm a little embarrassed to even say that, because I feel like Little Women is one of those books that you should have read like back in middle school. This is a really gorgeous cover, I think, so yeah, can't wait to get to this. It'd be a check mark for classics for me. Next up, The Ashford Affair by Lauren Willig. I do love me some Lauren Willig. I've been slowly trying to pick up all of her random books that I have yet to pick up. Yeah, this book, let me read the synopsis back here because I can't quite remember what it is about. As a lawyer in a large Manhattan firm just shy of making partner, Clementine Evans has finally achieved almost everything she's been working toward, but now she's not sure it's enough. Her long hours have led to a broken engagement, and suddenly single at 34, she feels her messy life crumbling around her. But when the family gathers for her grandmother Addie's 99th birthday, a relative lets slip hints about a long-buried family secret, leading Clementine on a journey into the past that could change everything. So then it looks like that's kind of it looks like, judging from this, it looks like it has like a modern day setting and a historical fiction setting. So that's the modern setting. So the historical fiction setting, it looks like it goes back to her grandmother, what her grandmother got up to. So, growing up at Ashford Park in the early 20th century, Addie, who is the grandmother of Clementine, Addie has never quite belonged. When her parents passed away, she was taken into the grand English house by her aristocratic, there we go, aristocratic, why couldn't I pronounce that? Aristocratic aunt and uncle, and raised side by side with her beautiful and outgoing cousin. Though they are different as night and day, Addie and her cousin are closer than sisters. Through relationships and challenges, and a war that changes the face of Europe irreparably. But what happens when nothing finally comes along that can't be shared? Hold on, let me reread that, you guys. I think I messed that up. But what happens when something finally comes along that can't be shared? Oh, okay. When the love of sisterhood is tested by a bond that's even stronger. Ooh, okay, so this sounds really awesome. Modern day setting, historical fiction setting. It sounds like probably something having to do with World War I, I'm guessing. Can't wait to get to that. Next up, All the Ways We Said Goodbye, and this has 3 authors. We have Lauren Willig and Beatrice Williams, and it's Karen White. This is a historical fiction book. Each of these authors, these 3 authors, they are telling some sort of story that is taking place in Paris, and that sounds really awesome. I'm not going to sit here and read the synopsis on the inside flap because it's a very, very freaking long synopsis. I definitely suggest, if you want to know more about this book, go check out Goodreads. But yeah, that's all you need to know. All 3 stories that these women are telling, they all kind of interchange in some manner, and they all have something to do with Paris. Next up, you guys, I have some non-fiction here. This is The Ship of Dreams. Let me see, there's a big old long title here. The Sinking of the Titanic and the End of the Edwardian Era by Gareth Russell. I do love all things the Titanic, you guys. I've been obsessed with Titanic since James Cameron's movie. So every time some new historical nonfiction work comes out, I always gotta go grab it. So yeah, this book is, as the title's kind of suggesting, it is strongly focusing on the sinking of the Titanic, but I think what it's adding, to just add something new to the subject matter, it's kind of focusing on kind of this correlation of the sinking of the Titanic also being the start of the end of the hierarchy of just the Edwardian age, you know, the hierarchy of the classes, especially with the wealthy and whatnot. So that sounds like a really intriguing topic for discussion. I can't wait to see kind of this debated in the book. Next up, The Stranger by Harlan Coben, and I did watch the miniseries adaptation of this book that was on Netflix starring Richard Armitage, and I freaking loved the TV adaptation, you guys. So I was like, I definitely gotta pick up this book and see if I like it just as much as the TV series. And yeah, if you don't know what The Stranger is about, it's about this mysterious character known as The Stranger who just kind of comes up to people and says something kind of scandalous and shocking, you know, some sort of secret that the other person does not know, either about a family member or a friend, or maybe something even about themselves, something that the stranger is kind of using in order to blackmail them. So yeah, that's essentially what this book is about, just somebody who's trying to spread wild and crazy secrets, and that can ruin friendships and families. And yeah, the main character of this, Adam Price, he finds out some very uncomfortable things about his wife, and yeah, he's determined to figure out the truth about what the stranger is saying. Are these things for real? Is it truth or is it fiction? And yeah, trying to unravel the mysteries of the stranger. And yeah, if you have not seen the miniseries on Netflix, you guys, it was awesome. Next up, The Borgia Confessions by Alyssa Palombo, and this is all about the Borgias, you guys. I do love me the Borgias. Don't know who the Borgias are. They were an Italian Renaissance family headed by Rodrigo Borgia, who became Pope Alexander VI. And yeah, the book is following a young girl named Madalena who becomes a servant in the Vatican, and of course, as is the case in any given Borgia-related book, the servant or just somebody is always falling head over heels in love with Cesare Borgia. It's not very new. It's not a very new subject matter, but still, I was like, I love all things Borgias. I love Cesare Borgia especially. He was just so interesting. And I love Alyssa Palombo. I previously read her book, The Spellbook of Katrina Van Tassel, which was like a retelling of Sleepy Hollow. I freaking love that book, so I was like, ooh, I gotta definitely check out this book since it has a strong focus on the Borgias. Next up, Codename Verity by Elizabeth Vine, I think is how that might be pronounced, Elizabeth Vine. This book, believe it or not, Barnes & Noble was having some sort of special promotion for this book. Like if you bought a beverage at their Starbucks, you got this book like heavily discounted. I only paid like a few dollars on it, which was pretty awesome. So, and then the good thing is too that it's a book that I've been wanting to read anyway. So yeah, a great bargain there. So yeah, this book, let me read back here. It says, on October 11th, 1943, a British spy plane crashes in Nazi-occupied France. Its pilot and passenger are best friends, but just one of the girls has a chance at survival. Arrested by the Gestapo, Verity is given a choice: reveal her mission or face a grisly execution. They'll get the truth out of her, only it won't be what they expect. And yeah, it just has a very brief synopsis, you guys. It's kind of all I need to know because it sounds awesome. And next up, I have another book in the Twisted Tales series. This is Straight On Till Morning by Liz Braswell, and this is I guess a retelling of the Peter Pan story, but told through Wendy's point of view. And the thing about these books, the Twisted Tales series, if you're not familiar, they always ask some sort of question, something that will change the events of what you know from the Disney story. And yeah, this one is asking, what if Wendy first traveled to Neverland with Captain Hook? Because yeah, obviously in the cartoon, she travels to Neverland with Peter Pan first. So yeah, what if she went there first with Captain Hook? Ooh, that sounds awesome. I'm curious. Good freaking lord. Surely there's not going to be a romance in here between Wendy and Captain Hook, you guys. Ooh, it's going to be a little weird and awkward. I mean, if Captain Hook happens to look like Colin O'Donoghue from Once Upon a Time, I'll be okay with that. But then again, how freaking old is Wendy in this book? Good lord, I'm a little concerned, and I have questions now about where this book is going. Hopefully it's not a romance and she's a little girl. Oh my goodness. I'll let you guys know when I read it. Next up, Alice by Heart by Stephen Sater, by Stephen Sater. And you guys, I didn't even know this. It says it's based on the stage musical And I do love all things Alice in Wonderland, but I had no idea there was like an Alice in Wonderland based musical of some sort. Does anybody else know about this? Because this is the first time I'm finding out about it. And yeah, I got a bit of a synopsis here to read. I'll let you guys know what this is about. Takes place in London, 1940. Stricken with tuberculosis, Alfred is quarantined, with doctors saying he won't make it through the night. Desperately believing she can make him well again, Alice is determined to transport him to Wonderland by rereading to him the book that has always bonded them, the story that she knows by heart, the story of Alice's adventures in Wonderland. What follows is a stunning, fantastical journey that blends Alice's two worlds, her war-ravaged homeland and her beloved Wonderland, a haven from the bombs and the death, but a place where the rule of all stories still applies. The pages must keep turning, but then the lines between these two worlds begin to blur. Is that a militant Red Cross nurse demanding that Alice get back to her bed, or is it the infamous Queen of Hearts saying something about Alice's head? Soon Alice must decide whether to stay in Wonderland forever or embrace the loss of everything she's loved, if that's what it means to grow up. Oh, seriously, and this is a musical, a Broadway musical, and I've never heard of it? That sounds awesome! Seriously, that sounds so freaking awesome. I can't wait to get to this, you guys. Next up, The King at the Edge of the World by Arthur Phillips. This is historical fiction taking place pretty much right at the end of Queen Elizabeth I's reign. She is dying, but there's a lot of questions and debate about King James, who is coming in to take her place, essentially, since she has no male heir, and yeah, because he was a Catholic, and yeah, during this time period, just all the stuff going on with religious turmoil with the Catholics and the Protestants, and yeah, this book has a lot to do with religion, kind of that whole thing, and some characters trying to figure out if the future King James will be a good successor to the throne, pretty much. There's a bit more going on than that, but yeah, it's kind of the basic thing. Just, that's where it takes place, is right there at the very end of Queen Elizabeth's reign as she is dying, and who is to come to the throne after her. And yeah, I love this cover, you guys. It's just such a neat, different cover for historical fiction. And next up, one of the books I'm just very, very excited to get my hands on and read is the latest by Alison Pataki. I freaking love Alison Pataki, guys. She has not disappointed me yet. This is The Queen's Fortune, and to make a long story short, this is pretty much focused on one of the mistresses of Napoleon Bonaparte, her name being Desiree. Definitely can't wait to get to this, and gorgeous cover. Next up, Beecham Hall by Danielle Still. And let me read the synopsis on this one as well. This one just sounds really cool. It sounds like if you love all things like Downton Abbey, this is the book for you. Winona Farmington, right? And I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Winona Farmington once dreamed of graduating from college and moving to New York City. Then real life got in the way, and she returned to her small Michigan hometown to care for her sick mother. Years later, Winona is stuck in a dead-end job and an unsatisfying relationship. She consoles herself with binge-watching the British television series that she loves, Beecham Hall. Enthralled by the sumptuous period drama set on a great Norfolk estate in the 1920s. On the day Winona is passed over for a long overdue promotion, she is also betrayed by her boyfriend and her best friend. Heartbroken, she makes the first impulsive decision of her life. She packs her bags and flies to England to see the town where her beloved Beecham Hall is filmed. Winona's world comes alive on the set of the show, and what happens next is the stuff of dreams as she takes the boldest leap of all. Oh my God. Okay, not only I think is this perfect for fans who love something like Downton Abbey and you've always wanted to like be integrated into the world of Downton Abbey, which would be so awesome. I think this is also a good recommendation if you have read something like Austenland by Shannon Hale, because Austenland, the premise is very similar. Austenland was about a contemporary woman who's just fed up with her life and her circumstances and her love life, and she goes to a place that just kind of reenacts that era, the Jane Austen era, and you can sit and dress up and how they used to dress and the etiquette and the manners, and yeah, flirt with men and whatnot. And it's almost like a theme park, you know, if Jane Austen had a theme park, you know, but just in this house, this nice grand estate, you know. So yeah, it sounds awesome, you guys. This sounds right up my alley, because I love Austen Land, and I love Downton Abbey. This is like a great combination. And last, I have Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare, and this is the latest book in the Shadowhunter universe. This is The Last Hours. Yeah, the series is going to be called The Last Hours. I have read and reviewed this book, and I freaking loved it. And yeah, I'm not really going to sit here and say too much about it, because yeah, this is like, what is this, like the third or fourth series in this very long ongoing series by Cassandra Clare, focused on young people fighting demons and vampires and werewolves and all that. That's all you need to know. But yeah, love this book, you guys. So you guys, that is it for this book haul. In the comments below, let me know your thoughts on some of these books. Love them, hate them, which one should I get to sooner rather than later. So that's it for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.